time. It's like a chit chat wine drink.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so Jess, you got diamond 2 weeks ago on Thursday. We are in week 2 of qualifications. Now, if you guys don't know this, when one of your personal coaches hits diamond, for you to advance to star diamond, you have to take part in a 6-week qualification. So for me, I actually didn't know that before when I was hitting diamond. And I remember if I knew that and I was told, like, girl, you got to stay diamond for 6 weeks in order for you to hold this and for this rank to count towards me, I would have hustled my booty off to keep that. So if anybody knows my diamond story, it was like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down like this. So Jess and I have been very, very in touch and like communicating daily all the time, talking about where she is, because in all honesty, she's as much in a qualification period as I am. I'm not the one that has to hold diamond. She has to hold diamond. And her becoming a diamond and advancing me to a 1-star contributes to our team, her and me. It's not just me. So that's one of the major things, the things that we set together when we first pushed for this, when we were talking about going for it. We said it's not just Jess going for diamond or any other coach going for diamond. It's us doing it together. So it's super new. Tell me, how do you feel after hitting it?
Well, you'll hear more later. Obviously, it's been a trying journey getting there, but I think that's kind of makes it more rewarding in a way when you literally have to fight so hard for something. And then once you finally get it, it's like, thank goodness, because I don't know what I was going to do if it didn't happen at some point. But it does, I mean, obviously, diamond is just a rank and you don't have to, it's not like your life completely changes when you wake up a diamond coach. Like, that's not how it works. But it does give you that sense of like leadership, and I am doing this and I do have a team that is kind of able to create success based on me and my coaching and my mentoring. And it does give you that kind of boost of confidence that pushes you to keep going past the diamond, because I mean, everyone says hit diamond, and we all hear diamond all the time, but it doesn't really change a lot. Once you hit diamond, you have to kind of keep that momentum going, and that's when things start changing. You need to then keep growing past diamond and hit diamond again for you to reap those benefits, because you're not there when you hit diamond. You don't wake up and have your dream house or anything like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
To keep that momentum going, and it's more gives you that confidence that you need, that you can keep going and you can do it, and you are on the right track to helping people set up for success, to teach coaching and do exactly what you're doing, but you need to just keep duplicating exactly what you've done.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like once you hit it, it's like that solidifying proof that I can actually do this. So we all hear all the time, diamond's a mindset, diamond's a mindset. And I truly never understood that, one, until last summer when I really truly tapped into locking in diamond and holding it for forever. But even more, I truly understood what that meant when we were working to get you to diamond, because I remember thinking, like, I know that you are capable of being a successful coach and you don't need diamond to dictate that. However, when you have this weight bearing on you, oh, I have to get to diamond for me to be like successful, it can be challenging and it can be like daunting, like, oh, I'm not successful until I hit diamond. But you're right, nothing happens. You don't wake up magically, everything's changed and different. But I think we've learned that diamond is almost proof that you can do it. It's like once you hit diamond, you're like, well, frick, I've come this far. I might as well keep going. Like, why would I stop when I get to diamond? It's like diamond is that proof that if I can do this, then I might as well keep going. Because if I can get to diamond, which is, in my opinion, one of the hardest, most challenging mindsets to wrap your, it doesn't take a long time and it's not hard to get to diamond, but it's that mindset of I can do this, and becoming a new coach and being a new coach and thinking, oh well, I have to know how to train all of my people. I mean, we still run challenges together, we still run coach trainings together, we still do all of that together. And for anybody that is listening or not sure and you're new and you might be thinking like, well, I'm not qualified enough to be a diamond, I am sure that Jess could tell you, you don't need to be qualified in order to hit that. You just have to push for it and allow it to be that proof that, hell yeah, if I can get to diamond, I can do whatever I want and set out to do, but I don't need to know all of the answers. That was awesome. I really truly got out of it. Like, you didn't wake up anything different, but it is that sense of leadership. And it's like, holy shit, I might actually be able to do this thing. Like, this is cool. Okay, so this is one of my favorite questions, actually, and I'm actually extremely excited to hear this answer. So you went to our Success Club trip with, I think it was like 2 or 3 active coaches. And that was after like a while of being a coach, and you came back, and I remember you said, I'm going to Summit as a diamond coach. Like, I will not effing go to Summit less than a diamond coach. And I remember it being so different than any other time. You're like, yeah, I want to hit diamond. It's like, you've always been like, oh, diamond doesn't determine my success, which I think is great. But there was just something that changed. There was something that flipped. There was a switch that was turned on or something. So what would you say is the number one thing that changed when you started to really push and pursue diamond?
I would say the number one thing, so basically a little backstory. I had been a coach for 2 years, the end of April. So when we were in Mexico, this would be just shy of 2 years. And I remember the whole time it was push for diamond, and it never happened. It was just never getting anywhere. And really, it was because I was amazing at talking about the fitness side of things, working out, all the benefits of that, kind of the always focused kind of mostly on the challenger side of things, because I was never that confident really in talking about coaching, and I never gave myself credit for any sort of success, even just the little things. So I was never posting about why people should coach, or kind of like what it did for me and those little things that people really relate to, and not the kind of, obviously, here's my income progression, because that wasn't the case at the time. So I wasn't confident in talking about coaching, so I had to get comfortable with it, basically. And the only way you can do that is just making yourself do it. So, and I would ask Ray all the time, scroll my Instagram and tell me like what I need to post about, like what should I talk about this day. And it was always, always, always coaching. You need to talk about why people should coach. What is it that coaching is doing for you? What has it done for you? Why? Talk to the people that were you when you signed up. So I basically had to make myself get comfortable with posting about coaching and get more comfortable talking about it in invites and messages and that sort of thing. And it's basically just like working out. Like, the more times you do it, the better you get at it. And it gets easier when you feel comfortable talking about something. Everything flows easier. Everyone feels those vibes that it's easy, everything is fine. And so if you go into a conversation thinking this person doesn't want to coach, or I'm not a good leader, or I don't have really something to offer, they're probably going to feel that vibe from you. And you kind of have to, Amy said an amazing hashtag at Summit, faith it till you make it. So you have to truly believe in what you have to offer and what you have to help people with coaching, and completely share that. Because if you're not sharing it, then people have no idea what it is that they can do, right? And so I would say I wasn't confident in talking about coaching. So I would say people didn't know exactly what I was doing. I wasn't talking about it enough and telling kind of my story with it enough, and how it's helped me in little thing. Like I've quit 2 different jobs because of coaching, through one while I was in school, and then one while I came out of school post grad, working at full time. And I was at a point where I told myself that I had to make coaching work, or there was no other option. So I wasn't sharing that kind of stuff, so no one knew what was happening. And that's kind of the biggest key. And people relate to those little things of absolutely dreading the commute to your 9 to 5 job, or whatever job it was. And I need to share more of those little things and more of the behind the scenes sucky things that were happening, that were a part of my story, but I was never sharing because I wasn't confident in it and I wasn't clear on it. But another thing I would say, there's 2 things that are hard to choose which one is the number one. I had to take away the hit diamond because of diamond aspect of the goal. You had to, because I personally am not really that motivated by the rank, and that's just me. And some people are super motivated by ranks, and that is completely fine, but that's just not me. So I had to remind myself what diamond means in terms of what I actually want for goals. So things like being able to get my hair done without it kind of being a stress for me, being able to have leftover money after we pay our bills to put into savings. Daniel and I would love to get a dog in the future, so that's something that we're trying to save up for. And I had to kind of tie it to little things like that instead of hit diamond because of diamond. It was more hit diamond because this is going to give you this X amount of whatever, so that can give you getting your hair done, getting your nails done, whatever. Going to Mexico was a huge thing for us because we got to extend our trip past Success Club. We stayed with Ray and Kyle, and we went and got to adventure around Tulum. So that was something that obviously we wouldn't have been able to do if I wasn't actually working the business, right? So that was kind of like tying myself to those sort of things and taking out the rank, taking out the numbers per se, and tying it to things that do motivate you.
Yeah, which is so freaking true. And we actually just heard it at Summit. That made me think of Sean's presentation where he was saying, instead of focusing on the stress itself, I mean, we all feel stressed. And I'm not going to lie, if you're pushing for diamond, it's like, it can be stressful. And if you focus only on being stressed, you're not going to get anywhere, and you're going to forget why you're doing what you're doing. But instead, if you focus on the meaning behind why you need to feel stressed, you can make rational decisions. You can make emotional decisions that are not, so you can make decisions that are not just emotionally driven. So I love that so much, because I totally relate to that. Anybody who knows my diamond story knows the same thing. I was not motivated by the diamond rank, and it would stress me out. And instead of focusing on the diamond rank, I turned it around and focused on, I just want to help people. Like, I just want to help people feel comfortable, get a discount. I mean, when you're pushing for diamond, you're not just trying to build all of these business builders. You can push for diamond and help people with a discount, you guys. Like, oh, if I knew that at the very beginning, if Jess knew that at the very beginning, I'm telling you, we would have been diamond in a heartbeat, because that discount can change somebody's opportunity to be able to drink Shakeology. That's $40 that you're saving by just having a coach discount membership. So for me, I had to flip that around, and I love, love, love that. Now I wanted to just go back for a quick second. I'm going to throw something at you. But in your first part where you were talking about how you had to overcome that like confidence in talking about the business, was there anything that you did besides me nagging you all the time? But was there something that you did that helped with that confidence, or was it just doing it that one time? Like I always think like making that very first post, it was kind of like that maybe. Or was there something that you did to be able to more confidently talk about the business versus what you were doing before? Because you weren't really, you're right, you weren't really talking about the business very much. You would talk about your goals and your dreams, but you wouldn't talk about how you were going to get there. And I think that was a big shift in how you started posting.
Yeah, I think I had to, I dug more into PD, I would say, in owning kind of who you are. And you know this, but my kind of just personality is I'm a people pleaser. So for a long time, my posts were catering to a lot of different people, a lot of different types of people. And I had to just like get more clear on who the kinds of people that I was trying to help, who the kinds of people I was looking for, the kinds of people that I was. And I had to get more clear on kind of what my story was, because I really just had like bits and pieces of it for a long time. But I had to kind of get more clear on owning who exactly I was and who I wanted to help. And then it made it easier to talk about coaching once you know who you're trying to talk to and who you're trying to help, right? Because we all have a different kind of background, and some people come into coaching and they have a story of a huge like weight loss transformation, and they're able to help people with that, and that's amazing. Completely not my story. I do have a good transformation, like a solid 20 pounds, but I don't have a huge 150-pound weight loss. So that's not the people that I would be the best at helping and the best at talking to, right? So I think the biggest thing was getting more clear on who you're trying to help, which makes it easy to talk to in your post, putting yourself in their shoes and how exactly coaching can help them, relating to those little things.
Yeah, no, that's so true. That's so true. I think a lot of times we get caught up in thinking we have to have XYZ as our story in order to be successful. And I know that both of us struggled with that. So for anybody who doesn't know, I started coaching in January of 2016, and Jess joined me in April of 2016. So when she joined my team, I was still so like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So Jess and I have really gone through this coaching experience and figuring everything out together. And I do remember we used to talk about it. We used to say like, well, how do we share? How do we help? Who do we help? Because we don't have this I mean, we're so young. We don't have this story that is like so jaw dropping. Like, oh, I was in $200,000 of defaulted debt, or I was 100 pounds overweight. Like, we didn't have that story. So I think it took you some time to really own who is Jess, who does Jess want to help, because she's exceptional at helping people, but being unapologetic about helping just those people, not every single person in the entire world, because there's tons of coaches out there. There are tons of coaches, and this is going to get sidetracked squirrel, but we so often hear, like, I personally don't, because I never talk about it. I truly believe in you attract what you put out, and I don't attract people who get asked this, but a saturated market. And my answer is always like, you can't help everybody. You can't help every single person on this planet. So why don't you just think and remember about those few thousand people who you can help? I live in St. Catharines, you guys. I live in St. Catharines, which is a city of like 150,000 people. How many people are in your town?
Or like 10,000.
Yeah, okay? Like, you're not going to help 150,000 people. You're not going to help 10,000 people. You're going to help a few thousand people who are then going to expand and help those other thousands of people that you cannot connect with on a level that you're going to be able to help them. So a saturated market is BS, because there are billions of people on this planet, and there are millions and hundreds of thousands of people within the countries that we can do this and help people with. We're in Canada, US, and the UK. So we have plenty of people that we can help. And I can guarantee you that there are going to be a few thousand people that you will speak to. And instead, you are so right. You stopped talking to the billion of people that are in the world, and you started talking to this small, tiny, teeny tiny group of people who are just like Jess, who don't have a massive amount of weight that they want to lose, but instead they have a deep connection that they want to build with themselves. And like, that is so, so, so key. And I think that everybody who has a hard time hitting Success Club points, getting to Diamond, recruiting coaches, you have a hard time because you're trying to help everybody. Now, I will say that if you are a brand new coach, you want to talk to everybody. And in the process of your first few months, figuring out who is joining you, you will figure out who you either like helping or you have a tendency to talk to. So if you are brand new, I would say within your first 3 months, talk to everybody, because everybody's going to be figuring out, what the hell is this girl doing? And they're going to want to join you. And then as you start to figure out who you're helping and hitting Success Club every month, growing your team, you're going to start to figure out, who are the people that I actually truly connect with? Who are the people that I actually truly have an impact on? And then you can start to divide, or to conquer and speak to those people. So I do totally 100% agree with that. I agree with both. So the third question is probably like, not too far off from what you were talking about, but what would you say is the biggest obstacle you faced in the pursuit to Diamond, and how did you overcome it?
I would say I got to a point in my business, I would say a year and a half in, where my Facebook wasn't working for me anymore. It wasn't the people that I had on there. They weren't my people. They weren't who I was wanting to speak to. So I wasn't speaking clearly. I was speaking to everyone, to different kinds of people. I was being cautious of what I'm saying, those sorts of things. That I did have good success with my Facebook at the beginning. All of the people, the people that I wanted had already joined me. So it was kind of like I got to a point, I got the same likes, the same 10 likes on every picture. I couldn't do anything with it. I couldn't benefit from it. So then that's when I moved to Instagram, which was, I had a personal Instagram beforehand, but I made a new Instagram for coaching. Um, and it was, I would say, I mean, everyone knows if you've started a new Instagram for coaching, it takes time to build. It's not something that skyrockets in your first week of 10 posts. It takes time and it takes consistency. So you have to really just work with it and have fun with all the tools and play around and find what works for you. Some things that work for other coaches might not work for you. So you need to be open to kind of learning. So that was, I mean, it was an obstacle, but it obviously something I overcame. So I had to learn. I learned a ton about Instagram and I still love learning about it. I think it's super fun and it's always evolving and there's so much we can do with it as coaches on there. Um, but it is a transition. It is talking to, Facebook is talking with people that you somewhat know on some sort of level, mutual friends or friends of friends or high school friends or whatever. So it was, you kind of got a feel for the kind of people that you liked working with on there. And then you kind of have to move to Instagram, which is a completely different market. It is people, most of the time, people that you don't know at all, which is, I think, honestly, I love it. I think it's really fun finding people that, like, you have no idea anything about each other at the beginning, and then you connect on some sort of level in a post or story or whatever, and then kind of go from there. So I would say that was kind of the biggest obstacle at a point, was just, I mean, that comes with getting clear on the people you want. So obviously, once I got clear on that, I realized my audience wasn't the people that I'm trying to help, so I needed to change it. So I went to Instagram and started growing a new audience, and it takes time, but I absolutely love it, and I get great engagement right now on my posts, my stories, everything, and um, I still use my Facebook like page. Like I just connect it with the Instagram. So just post the same stuff, but I don't do anything extra with my Facebook. So my personal page doesn't really have any posts about coaching. It's more just for life, kind of personal stuff. And then my like page is all business, and I have in my cover photo that all of my fitness, health, coaching stuff is over there so people know where to go. But ideally, I'm directing everyone to Instagram. A lot of people are on Instagram, so it's not really an issue to kind of switch over or direct people there. It's not, I mean, most people have both nowadays, so you can kind of get people to go there if you are transitioning from Facebook to Instagram or going through some sort of transition of social medias where one's not working for you as well anymore. Just stay consistent with it and it will come. It will take time, but it will come.
Yeah, and I remember when you were in that transition period, I was like so dead set on just do it. So I think the lesson would be, because truthfully, I still have success from Facebook. I still have success from my personal Facebook, which I try not to be too businessy on that page. Like I post pretty much the same things, but I'm not like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach, join my business because I make fuck tons of money. I am just me and I share my journey. And then if I have more things that are businessy, I put them over on Instagram, and some posts I don't even put on Facebook. So I personally still use my personal Facebook, and I still get success. Now, I would say, I think personally, just from watching you go through that transition, the two biggest lessons would be, number one, if you are not expanding your Facebook network right from the beginning, you're not going to continue your business. So I would say that from watching, that was one thing that we were slow on. And once you get to a point in your Facebook network where you're like, I have nobody left. Like, I remember you were like, I literally invited every single person, and the people who I didn't invite are people who I don't want to talk to in my life. So I have nobody. Now, at that point, you've literally exhausted everybody because we haven't continued to expand that network. So I would say the first lesson, learn this from people who have made the mistakes and take them so that you don't have to make the same ones. But I made the same one too. I just had better, I still had more engagement on Facebook than Jess did. So it turned out to be Jess really freaking hated Facebook, that she didn't even want to try anymore to expand that network. And that's when we both said, okay, done. Screw Facebook. We're moving strictly to Instagram. And that was a business decision that she needed to make. And she did. And in the process, she had to be patient. She had to be patient from the time that she committed to going solely to Instagram until the time that she started to grow her business through Instagram. So I think the first lesson would be grow your network on both platforms, at least 2 platforms. I personally recommend 2 platforms at the beginning after your 3 months. So when in your first 3 months, I solely believe that you should speak to whatever platform is your warmest. So whatever platform you are the most comfortable on. And then after 3 months, start building 2. And if that's Facebook and Instagram for you, that's amazing. Go and friend request a whole crap ton of people. Like, I'm talking 20 people a day. 20 people a day. You do not need to know them. Go and find people who have mutual friends. And then be a human. I say this to my team all the time. Be a human. A human being goes to somebody's profile, likes and comments on a picture, sends them a message that says, hey, you are gorgeous, or whatever you want to compliment them on. I suck at small talk. So my small talk is, you're beautiful and I think you're awesome. So I just tell them that, and I'm like, listen, I just wanted to say thank you for the friend accept, because they're not requesting you, they're accepting you. So I always say, thank you for the friend accept. I just wanted to introduce myself. And just saying something so minimal like that can grow your network on Facebook so simply. Now, the second lesson I would say is, I actually forget what it was, but I would say that you want to, I think I combined them. You want to grow and expand your network on both platforms. So I think if you started to grow your Instagram earlier than the time you stopped liking Facebook, I think it wouldn't have been as long of a process. But thank the Lord you stuck it out, because if you don't follow her on Instagram, you guys need to go and follow her. It's at Happiest Healthiest Jess, because she's killer. She is so freaking amazing. She is rocking the Instagram. Go love on her stuff. But take note of how she shares her heart so openly, no matter how many followers she has. She shared the exact same way when she had less than 100 followers than she does right now, and I think you're at like 500. So as she's continuing to grow, she continues to talk as if everybody she wants is listening to her. Amazing. Okay, we're getting down to it. So I have one more question. I have 2 more questions. So number 1, quickly, what is your current focus now that you've hit diamond? What are you working towards? How does your mindset look now?
Well, like I kind of said at the beginning, diamond is just a rank. So the goal, obviously, you need to keep diamond. That's you don't want to. The worst thing would be to hit diamond, work, 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 fight, 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 and Ray could tell you 1,000,001 times. You do not want to lose it and fight for it and lose it and fight for it. That's not the way you want to build your business. So the goal right now obviously is going beyond diamond, and I have one of my amazing coaches on here. She'll probably listen to this later, Morgan. She is zero point 0.2 seconds away from hitting diamond as well, and she has just completely come into this. She signed up like last August, so not even a year, and she just crushes it. Absolutely blows me away every single day. Um, so she is going to put me in 1-star qualification soon. She will. And honestly, the goal after that is then building Daniel's account. So my boyfriend's account up to diamond as well. And that obviously gives you a ton of benefits having your spouse's account locked in, that locks in for you 1-star, right? Because you're in control of that account. You get to, keep in contact with everyone there and see who's active, who's going active, and have control over that, right? So it's easier, obviously, when you're not relying on other people to kind of get active, place orders and that sort of thing. So the goal really is obviously building Daniel to diamonds next, but it's really just going like way beyond diamond. And I kind of took away this diamond is this big title thing away, and I'm just kind of like beyond diamond. It took me so long to get there that I was thinking so far beyond diamond at a point that it's like we're talking 3, 5-star, like now it's we're done.
Yeah.
We're
And
done
that is
talking.
like, yeah. I like, oh, yes. So for anybody who maybe you are on here and you've been a coach for a really long time and you have a similar story, whatever long time is for you, if it's 2 years like Jess, or if it's a year, or if it's like like, you've been pushing for 6 months, whatever the case may be, um, it's worth it. And I say to Jess, I remember I said to her one time, can you imagine you gave up? I remember I could probably count 4 or 5 times that she would say to me, I can't do this anymore. It was not that she didn't want to, but it's almost like she fell out of love with it sometimes. And it became too much because she stopped focusing on the meaning behind hitting those goals. And instead, she was so focused on those stupid rank labels. And I remember I said to her, could you imagine you gave up? You are like, I mean, you guys, she's about to skip over diamond. She's like hitting diamond and going to be 1-star qual. And her coach, Morgan, is going to be slaying it. Like they're going to get elite and premier by the end of the year because they didn't stop just because of that rank and label. I love it. I love it. Okay, last question, and then I have some spontaneous questions. The last question is, what would you say your work day looked like from start to finish as for the business? So really, what activities did you do to get yourself to diamond?
So, well, when I came in to coaching, I was in school, in university. I was working as a trainer part time, and I was also interning. So I was busy. I did not have a lot of extra time to do coaching per se, but I basically worked in pockets of time. Like I had half an hour breaks in between lectures. I had lunch times. I had commuting. I could sit in the car for 5 minutes and make a post like before going into work. It wasn't like I was on Facebook 100% of the time. I was doing it in the pockets of time that I had. And I did that up until a point where I eventually was able to quit the part time training job um, because I really wasn't, it was taking away 4 or 5 hours of my night every single night where I wasn't able to do the schoolwork that I needed to do. And I had coaching as an option to be able to be at home while I'm working on homework and, doing all this stuff. I don't know if you guys but I had to write a thesis in my 4th year, and that is a lot of computer work, sitting at a computer. And I had the option to be able to work coaching while I'm sitting at my computer. Takes 5 minutes to write a post, check in with challengers. The vital behaviors do not take a lot of time. So if you're coming into coaching as a new coach, or maybe a couple months in, you do not have to wait for a certain period of time of day to kind of work out for you. You work with what you have, and that's kind of how coaching works. It's so that you can work to have a different schedule, and I had to work in those little pockets of time so that I was able to quit that job. And then that gave me a couple hours every night to be at home doing my schoolwork, which was really the reason that I needed to be in school. That needed to be my focus. And obviously, when I was coaching, that wasn't my full time business. That wasn't a full time thing for me at the beginning. I was in school full time, and that was my focus, and I always knew that. But I did want to build it to a point so that come graduation 2 years later, I would not have to be that post grad student absolutely terrified of coming out of school and what that looked like and the debt and all of that sort of thing. So at the beginning, it was pockets of time, and then it grew to I had a couple hours a night after school to kind of work the business. And now it's grown into I kind of have a lot of control over my schedules and my days. I still don't 100% work the business full time. I still teach some classes and do some training at a gym right down the road from my house, a couple hours a week. And that's because I like to. I like doing that still. But I'm not tied to anything. It's not taking me away from any sort of opportunity to work the business, because I've chosen to work a couple hours in the morning teaching, and then I have the rest of my day to be at home coaching. And I also work at a chiro clinic, so I like to. I started there doing an internship through school and absolutely loved it. And I basically get to go in there kind of when I want because I love going there. So it's not that I'm being taken away or having to go somewhere. And I've obviously had to work to have that, but over 2 years later, I've been able to kind of create that schedule so that I do have some days like today. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't have any classes, didn't go to the clinic, and I had my entire day to coach at home. So tomorrow it's not the same case, but it's changed, evolved over 2 years, and that's kind of the fun part, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, are you ready? Hot seat. Hot spot, baby. Okay. These are like blast questions. First answer that comes to your mind. You don't even know what I'm going to ask you.
I know.
1. Are you ready?
Ready.
Are you ready? How would you describe yourself outside of coaching in 3 words?
Oh my goodness. Describe myself.
Yep. Label yourself as 3 words outside of coaching.
I would say this is really hard.
What do you love? What are 3 things that like describe who Jess is outside of coaching? It doesn't have to be words, but like phrases.
She really likes to be like organized and clean.
Yeah, that's 1. You're not good at this hot seat.
No. I want to say not like what's a good word for like a good way to say emotional, like
Emotional?
No, like
Empathetic.
pathetic.
That's true.
And
Fucking awesome.
I don't know.
Awesome AF.
Okay.
Okay, that was a warm-up. Okay. Quick, hot seat. Are you ready? What's your favorite part of coaching?
The friendship, like community friendship.
Me too. What's your least favorite part of coaching?
The like numbers side, I guess. It doesn't motivate me, so like I have to like force myself to care.
I just want to help all the people in the world for free.
Well, you know, I used to do it.
I know. I used to do that. Oh, that's so on point. Okay, if you could, are you ready? If you could interview any person in the world right now, who would it be?
I would say maybe Tony Robbins, I think.
Ooh, good one. That's a good one. I would love to interview him too. And lastly, obviously, what's your spirit animal? You would fail at an interview. It's a good thing you're on your own, boss. And this, my friends, is an entrepreneur.
Well, I have like a couple.
No, you have one. It's a spirit animal. If you're on here, comment in the comments what your spirit animal is while I wait for Jess's answer.
I would say, I think a turtle.
I agree. At the rate we're taking to answer these questions. Yes, accurate. I would love to hear everybody else's spirit animals.
Like the ones in Nemo, those ones.
The massive swimming ones?
No, the cute little ones.
Oh, the little tiny ones. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for all of your time. And obviously, I mean, you had it allotted, but thank you for putting out those answers and just being honest, true, and real, because there are so many different journeys towards diamond. And although we say diamond is just a rank, flamingo, oh my God, I love it. That's awesome. I've never heard somebody say a flamingo before, so that's fantastic. But truly, honestly, I think that diamond is the proof that you need for yourself. It has nothing to do for everybody else. I mean, obviously, it's going to give you credibility, but I truly think that that's the credibility that you need. And if you know Jess or you don't, she needed that proof. She was somebody who needed to know, can I actually, a penguin, I freaking love that. And I can totally see that. But she needed that proof. She needed that solidification that, hell yes, no matter what my situation is, no matter what my story is, no matter what I don't like, no matter what my age is, my limiting beliefs are, I know that I can do this, because if I can hit diamond, then I can do the rest of the business. Star Diamond is just helping everybody else. And maybe that's why it can be so daunting, because diamond is solely in your control. When you get to let control go and you get to release it and say, 1 star is up to all my people. I mean, if you are anything like me, that is actually amazing. Some people get stressed out about that because they're control freaks. We aren't. Jess and I are very, very similar. I am not motivated by rank or numbers or anything like that, but I am truly inspired when my 1 star means that she's now building a business. That's what gets me fired up. And for me to know that there are people on our team, if you're on our team, holla, but you have the possibility, the capability, the opportunity to create something for yourself that goes beyond just the bare minimum, just the tiny little thing, whatever you want that business to be, you have that possibility. And Diamond, I find, is that solidification, that gratification, and the proof that if you can get to Diamond and you can get through that mental battle of, can I actually freaking do this? Then you can go so far and beyond. So thank you for everybody showing up. We appreciate you. For those of you guys who joined us outside of our Limitless team, thank you for chiming in. I will post the recording in our Shine Dynasty Diamonds page so that your upline coach can grab it and share it in the team page. But yeah, if you guys don't mind, maybe popping in the chat super quick, maybe the big thing that stood out for you, something that you loved hearing about, or just share some love on Jess. That would be amazing. But you guys are free to go. Thank you for staying on here for so long. We appreciate you, and we hope that you guys have an amazing night.
Thank you.
Yay! All right, I'm going to stop the recording.